Hey everybody, this is Brian with Bear Cards 34. Today I'm back with another Through the Mail or TTM Blast from the Past. These are autographs that I got from players through the mail as a kid. Most of these were 1990 to 1993. There were a few that I sent in back in 88 and 89, but predominantly those first few years of the 90s. So I want to start off with this card right here of Herschel Walker. I actually highlighted him in my last video where he sent me a autographed Vikings picture in the purple ink, but I forgot that he also sent me this card, so I just wanted to highlight that card. There he is there in his Georgia uniform and nodding to the Heisman Trophy from 1982. So that's a nice card that I was given by Herschel Walker as well. One thing I also wanted to show was this Barry Sanders autograph. Now this was not through the mail, but this is me in 1990 picking up a autographed picture of him at a sports card show in Salt Lake City, Utah. That was during the major card craze of the early 90s, and he was the Rookie of the Year the previous season in 1989, and so he was able to come out to Salt Lake and meet with fans, and so I was able to meet him briefly, shook his hand, got his autograph, and that's one of my all-time favorite autographs right there. Even though he was in a division rival of the Detroit Lions, he was always my favorite running back from the beginning of his career all the way until he retired, and I just love and respect that guy's play, his attitude, his approach, and man, he had so many great highlights, so love that auto right there. And then the year after that, Emmett Smith was the Offensive Rookie of the Year, and he went to the card show after his rookie season. So this would have been right before the 1991 season, and he autographed that. If you can see the auto right there, NFL's all-time leading rusher. So very happy to have met him and gotten that autograph as well from those early 90s card shows. Next up is a letter that I got in the mail from one of my very favorite football players of all time, James Brooks. I was a big fan of his game, loved his cards, loved his play. He was just a fantastic running back. Back in the day when I received these autographs, I had an autograph book that I collected, and so I made a little page for James Brooks with the letter that he wrote me, and I'll kind of show that now. Okay, so here's the letter. Brian, it's nice to hear from another ball player. You know it takes a lot of practice and hard work to go all the way. Thanks for writing and good luck to you. Love, James Brooks, number 21. So that was a really nice one for me to get, with him being one of my favorite players. I had mentioned to him that I was playing football. I played Little League in high school, and so that would have been during that time period. So very happy to get that letter. You know, James Brooks is, very, very successful player. This is one of his Pro Bowl cards. He was drafted back in the first round in 1981 out of Auburn. And, the Chargers had him for a few seasons. And then, interestingly enough, James Brooks became part of one of the most lopsided trades in the history of the NFL. Pete Johnson was the Bengals running back, and they traded Pete Johnson for James Brooks. And just to put it in perspective, James Brooks was 25 years old at the time, and Pete Johnson was 30 years old. And for Brooks with the Bengals, he went on to have almost 10,000 all-purpose yards. He made 4 total Pro Bowls, 64 touchdowns, and Pete Johnson played in 3 games total for the Chargers. He had 46 yards. He ended up going to Miami later in the season and then retired after that year. So again, that's an example of why he was one of the great, that's one of the great, lopsided trades of all time. James Brooks had almost 15,000 all-purpose yards in his career. Just a fantastic running back. He finished up his career, his final year, he was with Cleveland and Tampa Bay before retiring, but had quite the career there. Okay, this next one was a pretty fun one for me to get. Along with writing with players, I also wrote to coaches, and so we've got Marv Levy here. I still have the old official Bills envelope. You can get the Bills helmet on the back. Terry from TJ Mack, you might get a kick out of this one, but this was a fun one for me to get for sure. Marv Levy, I mean, he's still alive today. He's almost 100 years old. He's in his mid-90s. He's from Chicago, Illinois. Go Bears. He even coached the Chicago Blitz for one season before going into the NFL. He was also the coach of the Montreal Alouettes in France. Or not in France, sorry, in Canada. What am I saying? But anyway, he won a couple of the Grey Cups with the Montreal Alouettes. And then he was the coach of the year in the NFL in 1988. And for those of you who followed football in the 90s, you know that the Buffalo Bills went to 4 straight Super Bowls, which is absolutely impressive. You know, that would be hard to do. Unfortunately, it was 4 straight losses as well, but they really had a great team. So here is the letter that I received from Marv Levy, at least typed up from him. So you see right here, Marv Levy, head coach, vice president. It has all the info for the Bills. And then a typed up letter. Dear Brian, thank you for your recent letter. Everyone in the Buffalo Bills organization enjoys sharing from our many loyal fans, especially those living in the Plains states. We will do our best to provide you with many exciting moments during the 1993 football season. Sincerely, Marv Levy, head coach. And he put, P.S. good luck to you this season, because I had mentioned again that I played football. So we've got and down here it shows 3 of their, the Super Bowls that they had there. So that's pretty awesome. One more to go after that. So anyway, I'm very happy to have that letter and appreciative that he was able to send that out to me. Next up, I received this autograph card from John L. Williams. He was a first-round pick of the Seahawks back in 1986, and he had a 10-year career. His final couple years, he was with Pittsburgh. In fact, his last game was in Super Bowl 30, where the Steelers lost to the Cowboys. But he also ran for over 5,000 yards and had almost 5,000 yards receiving. So he, 2-time Pro Bowler, very good player. And he actually sent 2 cards. I really like this one because I think with the sketch, the auto looks really good on that. So very happy to have those cards from John L. Williams. Okay, next up is Eric Hill. He was the 10th pick of the 1989 draft out of LSU. He played for 10 or 11 seasons, most of those with the Cardinals. He had over 1,000 career tackles, so he was quite a good player. He sent me this, the 1993 Cardinals team card with a list of their schedule on the back from back then, which is kind of cool. And then the best part is he wrote me a personal letter, so very happy with this. So this one says, Dear Brian, hopefully this letter meets you in good health and spirits. I feel that it is an honor for me to have such great fans as yourself. I'm having a bit of a contract dispute right now, but I'm sure things will be worked out shortly. They were. School is getting ready to start soon. Just remember, no pass, no play. Hit the books as hard as you hit someone on the football field. Take care. Number 58, Eric Hill, Phoenix Cardinals. So again, these are the kind of letters, especially now as an adult, that I just really appreciate. This is an NFL football player a few years into his career who took the time to write to me and kind of give me a little personal update of what he was going through, and then giving really good advice. It's not all about football, to really study hard as well. And so, again, I loved it when I got it, but appreciate this even more now. So big thanks for him sending that back in 1993. Next up, we've got Mark Ingram. And if that name sounds familiar, that's because his son, Mark Ingram Jr., is playing with the Houston Texans right now. So the interesting thing with Mark Ingram was he was a first-round pick back in '87. He was the 28th pick. And his son, who won the Heisman Trophy in college, and it was also the 28th pick of the first round the year he was drafted. So it's kind of cool that they both had the same pick, just, a few decades apart, a couple decades apart. So he played with the Giants and also had a couple really good years with the Miami Dolphins. In fact, he had one game with the Dolphins where Dan Marino threw him 4 touchdown passes, including a very famous one where Marino went to fake like he was going to spike the ball to stop the clock and instead did a pump fake and then threw it over to Mark Ingram for a touchdown. So great game for him there. He was a very talented player and unfortunately had some legal issues after his career. He spent some time in prison, and actually he jumped bail to see his son play in a football game at Alabama and ended up adding 2 years to his prison sentence because of that. So kind of crazy there. He's out now. I think he's doing well. But I was very much a fan of his after he wrote me back. So basically, he just took the back of the letter that I wrote him and wrote, "Dear Brian, study hard and practice hard. May God bless you, Mark Ingram." And I still have the envelope that it came in, and basically it got a signature right there as well. Though when I opened it back in the day in '93, it looks like could have been a little nicer with that. But anyway, definitely appreciate that autograph from Mark Ingram. Okay, and then kind of saving the best for last, I got this autograph from Troy Aikman. Again, this was a very fun one to get. I didn't send him any cards or anything like that, and I was able to get this photo autograph from him. So everybody I think who's watching this probably has heard of Troy Aikman. But he was the first pick in the draft in 1989, which was just stocked full of great players. Coming out of UCLA. He went to 6 Pro Bowls, 3-time Super Bowl champion, one of which he won the MVP for. He's on the Cowboys Ring of Honor. Of course, he's in the Hall of Fame as well. And now, we see him on Fox commentating on games with Joe Buck. So he's definitely still a face in the NFL and had a great career, and so I'm extremely happy to have that auto. And again, these are some of the autographs that I picked up when I was younger. My plan is to continue to make some of these videos and highlight what I've picked up. But I will let you know, one of my viewers mentioned that Kevin Butler was signing autographs. I think I had opened a pack of 88 Topps, and I pulled a Kevin Butler card, and he mentioned that Butler signed autographs, and he was able to pass along that address to me. And so I sent that card and a couple others out to Kevin Butler, and it was kind of nostalgic for me. It brought back some memories, and it seemed kind of fun. So I ended up sitting down and writing, I don't know, 8, 9, 10, something like that, letters to some old players who played when I was a kid, and a couple even from before then. And hopefully I'll get a few of those back. If I do, I'll definitely make a video to show those to you guys. So you can definitely plan on some more Blast from the Past TTM videos, and maybe even 1 or 2 from now. But we'll wait and see if any of those come back as successful returns. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. And if any of these players that you see here continue to sign through the mail, I'd be curious to know. But anyway, thank you very much for the time, and everyone have a great day and a great weekend coming up, and I'll be back with more videos in the near future. Take care.